say the great experience about the fact that we have these events is not only learning about what's new in the industry,
Hmm.
because I feel like detailing is not talked about enough. Ah, four guys, four
It can be
guys.
girls too. It can be girls too. We don't
Uh,
like, yeah, you know.
no, I got you. I got you. Let's see. I believe her name is
Ciao, ragazzi. Welcome to Arte Automobilistica. That just means what's up, everybody. What's up, guys? Today I am joined by a very special guest. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been detailing, where you're at, and all that, sir.
All right. Well, my name is Quincy with QDetails. I am currently down in Houston, Texas. I have been detailing for a while now. I'd say it's been about 12 years almost. It's kind of amazing how fast that time goes by.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, for me, it really started in college. So that's just how long it's been. I was a teenager when I started. 30 years old now. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a journey. You know, a lot of hiccups, a lot of learning, a lot of things along the path. But it's definitely been a blessing. It's a great tool to have in the back pocket. But been a great experience for me, I'd say.
Yeah, and I know one of the first things that people notice about you specifically, you can't really tell as much because you're sitting in a car, but everybody is like, he is so tall. He's a basketball player. There's no way he should be detailing. How does it feel like? How hard is it to work on some of these cars being as tall as you are? And how tall exactly are you?
So, well, I am actually 6'6",
Okay.
and I will say I advertise to everybody I prefer trucks all day, every day. Send me the trucks. I might even throw you a little discount for it. But
Mm,
when it comes to certain vehicles, man, it can be a lot. It can be quite challenging sometimes, just because some of them are smaller. You know, especially like the sports cars,
mm.
things like that. And at my size, it's like trying to squeeze into them. You know, you kind of feel like a Pokemon hop into a Pokeball type type experience. So you really try to make the best of it with those type of things, and it really allows for like some great creativity,
Mm.
especially at this size. Learning how to squeeze in the car, squeeze into places. There's a whole art to this entire career, to this entire experience. So you can really get creative with things and just try to figure out different ways to accomplish the same goals and even do better if you can. So
It really
yeah,
seems like, for you yourself, you have to lean more into that like puzzle, problem solving, analytical type of side. Um,
yeah.
how hard is it? You mentioned sports cars, doing like a McLaren, like the inside, something like that. How difficult is it moving in and out?
I would say it's very difficult. One, the car is extremely low to the ground.
Mm.
So, I'm doing a squat and a half every time I got to go up and down and up and down. But, on top of that, when you're dealing with vehicles like that, there's a lot of intricacies with them, especially the interiors. So
Hmm.
you really want to be careful. You don't want to just be plopping down in the car extra hard and then you might hit something, break something.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing with the chemicals and the products that you use on the interior of these cars. Like, you can't just use the same thing for every type vehicle. Each vehicle is going to have something different on the inside of it. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know your products. Read your labels, read your safety data labels. Like, those are very, very important. But yeah, when it comes to those smaller type vehicles, the sports vehicles, you really want to pay attention. Take your time, slow down. Like, it's not a race. Detailing is all about the art side of it. It's about taking your time. It's about looking and noticing and paying attention to what you're doing. So a lot of that all just ties in.
Doing a car like that, it's gonna stretch your mind. Like, what's your favorite type of vehicle that you've detailed? That if somebody says, Quincy, I need this car done, but you're busy, but it's the like your unicorn car. What
hmm
car are you stopping what you're doing for to go detail?
Okay, so people might not believe this, but honestly, it's a Tesla. I don't know
Okay.
what it is, but if you bring me a Tesla, I'm gonna knock it out. It
Mm,
could be because of the time that I spent there. I'm so comfortable with the vehicle. I
hmm.
already know what I'm gonna hit, where I'm gonna hit, where I'm gonna start, like what to do. The fact that it's just like in my head to like
Ah,
already just get on it, something like that. If I was like rushing in the last minute and somebody brought it to me, I
hmm.
know I could just stop off and I could knock that out. So that would be my comfort level.
And I think having a comfort level with a specific brand, it makes you kind of an expert in that regard and allows you to handle those situations. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
that having that production style like background, it's so underdeveloped in the detailing world. You don't have people who specialize in certain types of cars anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm actually glad that you brought that point up too. Kind of veering here,
Hmm.
but you brought up production.
Hmm.
And I've always that's one thing I've talked about in the detailing world. There is different types of detailing. You know, you have your production detailing. You know,
Yeah.
quick, get it out, prep the car, and then you have your real finite detailing. And you know, and it's very, very important to distinguish the two. Those are two completely different types of detailing, two completely type of customer experiences, and
Yeah.
it's very, very important that that's highlighted that there are two different types of detailing when it comes to certain vehicles and certain things, as well as your time. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did bring this up.
I was speaking to a guy named Brian, and he was like he classified them as archetypes, kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
the role playing. And I was like, I like the word. I'm gonna steal it. So the production style archetype, the guy who does PPF, the guy who's a car washer, studio detailer, mobile detailer, they're all
Hmm.
different categories of one major conglomerate kind of thing.
Yep. We have one giant umbrella that just covers everything, and then everybody else under. It's kind of like a family tree almost.
Yeah.
You know, our main title is detailers, and then we branch out into all the different types. So, and that comes back to the whole art side of it. You know,
Hmm.
so many different styles of what we do.
It's true. And when you have all these different areas, my question is, I know there's ego everywhere. When you have that guy who's, oh, he's just a production detailer, is
Hmm.
that something that, like, because I've met a lot of guys who are production, it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're used to doing things a certain way. Like, is there a big step up to a guy who does a studio or has his own company versus the production guy?
I would say that there can be differences.
Hmm.
Some guys take on the production role of detailing, and that becomes their bread and butter, and they stay with that, and they really just grow and expand in that way. And then there's others of us who really just stick with the whole finite type of detailing, trying to go for a certain criteria
Yeah.
of cars. All of us just try to find a niche. So I wouldn't say, I don't like to, put one guy over the other guy.
Hmm.
I say when it comes to like skills, that can definitely determine, who's better, who's not, yada yada yada. But as far as like the types, there's definitely multiple different types that have to be considered, and multiple different niches that people will just branch out and they'll grow into. So it's kind of hard to give that who's good and who's not
That's
type
true.
of.
And it's not always an ultimate comparison, but I think about some of the skill set that a production style detailer gets to learn, where you go a little bit further into wet sanding. You go a little bit further stretching the limit, seeing what you can get out, as opposed to a lot of the shop guys or studio guys. They're not as versed in like sanding techniques. They don't do it. So I think there is some, some
Differentiation. Yeah.
benefit like to being, all the different categories.
Oh yeah. Narrowing it down like that. Yes. The more skill sets that you obtain, I think that is huge, and it does
Hmm.
definitely separate you because when you're doing production style things, you're not going into heavy detail like you were saying, wet sanding and things like that. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother skill, a whole nother art, and not even just wet sanding in general. Restorations and complete corrections, things
Yeah.
like that. That's high level, high skill type of work. And
Hmm.
when you're in something like for production, you're not really focusing on that. You're just trying to get the vehicle presentable and out the door because you got another 40 vehicles behind you.
Yeah.
So that's where we can differentiate. But I think having the skills is important, whether you're a production, whether you're finite, whatever kind of detail you are. The more kinds of skills that you start to give yourself and better yourself, I think that just helps to grow your own business in whichever way. And not even just for yourself. Say if you have like employees,
Hmm.
partners, things like that, being able to teach other people is monumental, and it really shows your professionalism as well as like the amount of skill that you have. So yeah, I do agree with you. Having those specialized skills is monumental, and it definitely does differentiate from the others. So
When you look at your everyday average detailer, with all the different skill sets that you've learned and taken into your arsenal, do you look at some of the detailers and say, hey, they're missing something that in my eyes is pretty basic? Is there anything that you see?
I try to leave people alone as much as possible because I am so particular. I
Mm-hmm.
see everything, and it gets to a point where it's just like, man, if I keep pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing, I'm stressing me out. I'm stressing them out. So when it comes to certain things, depending on the job, what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let some things slide. But if it comes to my own stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
me and my work, then it's a whole different. I'm such a perfectionist. I can't even let a little speck or nothing go past. I don't care if the customer saw it or they did it. It bothers me.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
I think that means that you care, because when you get to the point where it doesn't matter anymore, I think
Hmm.
maybe that's the time to start making an exit. When you see
Yeah.
something, you're like, it's okay. I think that's when it's really time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, do I really want to do this anymore? Or am I just doing this to make money?
Yeah, a nice little self reflection. I got you.
Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
One of the things I look at and I see missing from a lot of people, these guys come from studios, they come from mobile. I was surprised by how many people don't know how to do like touch up paint. And like
Yeah.
in a production world, like you have to learn touch up paint.
Hmm. Yeah, and not even just that. Not knowing as well as different ways of applying it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different ways that people apply touch-up paint that the production world is what really showed me that. I think we do need to focus more on getting some of those type skills because I say that's in every detailer skill. Like every
Yeah.
detailer needs to know how to at least do that, like touch up, polishing. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
call yourself a detailer and not a wash guy,
Yeah, yeah.
those type skills is definitely like monumental.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And those little things are, I think that's what separates it all. So you're teaching a class. It's your
Hmm.
class. You could only have 2 days to teach a detailing class. What type of subjects are you going to have in that class to ensure that by the end of 2 days, this person can say they have the knowledge to be a detailer? They may not be able to do it all, but you gave
Hmm.
them everything they need. Like what subjects are you touching on?
I mean, honestly, first off the rip, I'm gonna have to give you credit, Ken. Safety.
Mm,
Uh, Safety is monumental. And I'll say for me and my own personal work, I have really like I'm kind of here and there.
yep.
I'm gonna just grab something. I'm gonna just do it real quick. And I often don't really think about the safety aspect of it. And I say having the honor and privilege of working with you really kind of heightened that for me. So these days I've kind of changed around a lot of stuff. I focus a lot more towards the safety of things. Um, Especially some of these chemicals, inhaling them can do some serious damage to you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I'm going to teach a course, right off the bat, it's safety. I'm going over safety. I'm letting these guys know what can hurt you, what can't hurt you, how to undo something. The acids versus neutrals, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Learning that whole scale there, all of that's important. After that, I would say I'm going through my basics. The first thing is how to wash a car. That
Mm,
is so monumental because I feel like a lot of people don't even know how to do that part. That's the first part. Washing a car, there's a difference between a regular wash and a
mm-hmm.
detailed wash. All right. So I'm covering that course first so that people know and can understand how to differentiate themselves from the wash guy and the
Mm-hmm.
detailer to start doing this specialized classified work. And then I'm going to try, touch in on the polishing, get down to the basics of polishing, how to handle the machine, how to do
Mm-hmm.
your cross hatching, learning your areas, your zones of the vehicle, and then the other stuff I feel will just follow. You learn your products, your compound, your polish, your
Yeah, yeah.
sealant, yada yada yada. That stuff starts to come along. But being able to handle the machine, learn about burn areas, learn about not hitting the plastics, all of those are safety parts of the detailing. I think that's more monumental than telling a person here, put this on a pad and start polishing this area of a car. Like just trying to give them more than just that, you know.
Yeah. Now, when you speak about safety or mistakes, burning paint, we've all made mistakes. I've messed up some stuff. What's the
Hmm.
biggest mistake you've ever made on a vehicle?
Cheese and rice, Ken. Huh. Oh man. Honestly, at the moment, I can think of two monumental ones that really they sit with me to this day. They were massive learning experiences. My
Hmm.
first one, I was 19 years old, just in the industry, and I had a car that came from the body shop, and I went to polishing on it, and that paint came off just like that, immediately. Learned my lesson right there. Fresh paint, do not polish on that. Don't do that. Let the paint dry. I didn't know, and all of a sudden, my whole pad was blue, and the front part of the car was just gone. And the
Mm,
customer was coming that day. So, yeah, that was monumental. So when it came to body shop cars, it was one, always measure your paint. That's
mm,
monumental. And then two, if it's coming from the body shop, you got to be gentle, especially on plastic areas like bumpers, which is what I was polishing.
yeah.
Oh, that that paint will run away quick. Um, my next one, safety data sheets. Read
Mm,
those. Some of these glue removers, you think you're just going to go and remove some glue, and then it's dripping down, and next thing you know, it done ate up the plastic.
yeah.
Yeah, that cost me $1,400 quite recently in a grill. Learned a hard lesson, but now I know from now on I'm reading that product before I apply it
Hmm.
anywhere. It was a simple job just to remove a bug shield right off the front of somebody's car that turned into a whole grill replacement. And
Oh,
yep, another learning lesson right there. But yes, read your safety data sheets. Learn and see what products can go on what products are safe on what. Just because it's safe here, you don't
hmm.
know where it could be damaging elsewhere. So pay attention to those things. So those are my two monumental lessons.
If it makes you feel better, I made a mistake of quite a few years back, and it was something I wasn't thinking, and it goes back to like that safety aspect. I was using I thought it was a gentle cleanser. I was spraying it directly on the rag, wiping down these seats, and it was an old like classic car that had been restored. They just
Mm-hmm.
redid the seats. I was done. The seats looked great, but I got called to do something else, and I threw the towel down on the seat.
Mm,
I came back 20
mm.
minutes later and it was all ate
Yep,
up and it had to go back to get the seats redone. Like I
man.
ruined the seats and I didn't even realize because I was just
Yep,
I was going to do so many things. So safety, like you said, like if we don't pay attention to it, it can eat us up.
yep. Absolutely, absolutely.
What have you done as far as a detailer that you are most proud of? Not in life, because then we can get into like some crazy stuff about everything we've all done in life, but in the detailing world, in the community, in the industry, what is that one thing you're like, I'm proud of this? Like I can carry my head high on this.
Hmm. I'd say once I finally, I don't know if this answers the question properly, but I'm trying. I'd say once I finally broke into a certain tier of vehicles,
Hmm.
um, I felt very rewarded, like for myself. It's like, man, for so many years, I've been doing this. I did production, I did
Hmm.
finite, I worked with companies, I opened my own business, and now it's like finally I'm getting some real like recognition to
Yeah.
where like people are actually like seeking me out down
Hmm.
here. So, and that's been monumental. I'd say my biggest right now between the McLarens and the Corvettes, they're just coming in. They're rolling in, and I can really appreciate the fact that someone outside of just a company that I was working for, people
Yeah.
are actually seeing me. They're seeing Quincy. They're seeing QDetails. It's my name on it. It's my work out there, and people are recognizing that and coming and looking for me. So I don't know if that's a life thing like you were saying or a detail thing, but I don't know. That's
I
been that's
think
been a monumental one.
sometimes what sounds like the most simplest thing to be proud of is actually the most important.
Mm-hmm.
When people are coming specifically for you based on the work that you've done, it's got to be a proud moment. Like you have to feel it. To not feel it, I think would be a disservice to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's entirely the right answer. Like having a moment to be proud of, and you're living in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it won't be have something else down the road where you're going to be even more proud of yourself. But that recognition and having that ability, that is something to be proud of. Like you should
Yes.
hold your head high. Like be happy about that. Don't
Yes.
don't
Yes.
not think that it's great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's definitely, it's a part of the ladder, a part of the ladder, the
Hmm.
steady growth. You go from being the guy knocking on doors and cold calling and handing out cards and stuff to now people are calling you, and it only just grows from there. So I can
Yep.
really appreciate that.
And as you're getting into that and you're getting that growth down, what would be your best advice for that person who is just starting out and they're knocking on doors?
I
Just keep
keep going,
grinding. What?
keep going, because like there's so many days. Just recently, I posted about when I first opened up and my months,
Mhm.
and you saw like my first month, boom,
Yeah.
bunch of customers, but then dry season, and then nope, up again, and it slopes. And for a lot of people just coming in, that
Hmm.
down slope can feel almost kind of defeating. It's like, what, do
Yeah.
people not like my work? Am I not getting out there enough? And it's like, it's not like that. It just takes time.
Mm.
Nobody just starts off in the green. You
Yeah.
start off in the reds, you work your way out, and that's your whole learning experience there. You figure out what's working, what's not working, what customers appreciate, what they don't appreciate, and back and forth and back and forth. And as you start to gain that knowledge, as well as
Mhm.
gaining the experience and gaining the ability to even go out and engage with customers, it starts to grow. So I say you keep going, just keep pushing at it, keep hacking away at it, because it's not an overnight thing. It's going to take you some time. Like I said, I've been doing this since college, and I'm just now getting to the point where people are literally calling me. So it's been a while, but it's worth it.
I think that's the perfect, thing to say. Just keep going. Don't give up. There's so many cars out there for everybody to do.
Exactly.
I
So many
think it
cars, so many niches. Yeah.
it's one of those things like I know at the beginning you talked about there was an intimidation factor with certain types of vehicles. What was the vehicle that had you the most intimidated from the start when you were like, I don't know if I'm ready for this one?
Um, Probably the McLaren,
Yeah.
the first one, and I think I don't even know if I can't say it was 100% the car. I say the
Mhm.
customer also played a role because they were very, very particular. They
Mm.
were very huge on making sure nothing gets messed up on their car. And on
Yeah.
top of that, it was like a time thing with them as well.
Mm.
So, I had like a lot of different stressors going on, but at the same time, you're also trying to make sure you're still in your process. You're still
Hmm.
doing the right thing for the customer and for the vehicle. Um, so I would say that was my first primary stressor, like dealing with a car of that price ticket and it
Yeah.
being solely on me. Like everything is 100% on me. So that was definitely my first stressor.
We don't realize what we're working on sometimes. So for you, what's the most valuable vehicle that you've ever worked on that you've done in detailing?
That that would be that most recent McLaren.
Mm.
That would be that one. As far as for my business, now working for other people, I've worked on Bentleys,
Hmm.
Ferraris, other things like that. But that was for other companies. It wasn't under
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
own domain. For my domain, it would be the McLaren. I have another customer that has a Z06 that's all the way tricked out.
Yeah.
So that one is also another very delicate, high cost car.
Yeah.
But for me, I'd say it's a little different. I wouldn't call myself a car guy necessarily,
Oh, okay.
um,
Okay.
but I do like vehicles
Hmm.
just because of the size of me. A lot of vehicles are kind of inaccessible, so I never really like gave it much thought. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a really cool sports car. I'll never fit in it, but
Yeah.
like that's my thought process with them.
I get
So
it.
so
I
I
get
I can understand not being the car guy, but still being into this for the other aspects of it.
Yeah.
Detailing for me is not really the cars. I think I like the customer experience.
Mm.
I like the before and after, the turnaround. I like the fact that I did it.
Hmm.
My hands did this, my work type stuff like that. All right, man, take take care, buddy.
Which
But yeah,
I think that's where I'm at. The artistic side of it, the ability
hmm
to deliver something that looks like the vehicle was meant to be. Like it was the person who designed this vehicle, they wanted it to
hmm
shine. They wanted it to look a certain way. And that's what I want to give back to the customer. It doesn't matter what type of car it is, but
yeah,
for me, giving them that result and the artistry of it is where I am really excited. So I get it. I'm in there in that regards.
hmm
500 billion different chemical companies and ceramic companies. Do you have a favorite product line, or do you take this from this line and that from this line and here? And
yeah.
how's your methodology?
I will say I can be all over the place,
Hmm.
depending on what it is, and that's more of a recent thing. once
Yeah.
I opened up my own business. I say
Hmm.
these days, what's up, Brody? But what I was trying to do, I wanted to focus more on one sole, product. I was really like hooked to Manzerna,
Yeah.
Manzerna,
Yeah.
Jescar, that grouping. I was hooked to them. But at the same time, when it comes to like other things, like doing interiors, I
Hmm.
like 3D products sometimes. Sometimes I like McGuire's products.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot, Dr. Beasley's. After my tenure with you guys, my Dr. Beasley's has been in the shopping cart quite a bit. So I can be a bit all over the place between Shine Supply, Manzerna,
Hmm.
Beasley's, McGuire's. I'd say those are like my top four hitters right now. Um, but yeah, it gets all over the place just based on how I feel about a product. I don't like to just sit here and be like, hey, this product is king. It does
Hmm.
everything for me. And yeah, no. And I think that also draws back into what we were talking about earlier. How each car needs different things.
Yeah.
Not every car is just like you can sit there and just do this, boop, 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 boop. Some chemicals, some providers, their chemicals are stronger. So
Yeah.
you can't necessarily sit down and utilize that stuff. Like I'm not going to use any interior stuff from Technician's Choice that's made for production and heavier
Yeah.
cleaning
Yeah.
on the inside of a Lambo. Absolutely
Hmm.
not. I want to use something softer and gentler that's made for that material.
Yeah.
So that's also another reason why I can sort of bounce around.
My product line does vary. I do try, like, the obsessive part of me wants to stick with one line, but
Hmm.
I can't because I found other stuff in other lines that it
Hmm.
just seems to work better on this type of vehicle, or it reacts well with this material. So I get it fully in my mind. Like, I wish I could stay with one line. It's just
Yeah,
impossible for me.
yeah. I tell you, it'd save a lot of money if I could stay with one line. But
Right? I mean,
at
because
the at the
some of these lines have ridiculous discounts for like people who work with them.
yeah. Hmm. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think it's also a part of being a detailer. A new product is like shiny new toy for us.
Yeah.
You gotta get it. You gotta try it. You gotta see what's up with it. And then boom, if you end up liking it, now you're buying into another company. So it's kind of hard to stay biased when you have that kind of mentality where it's like, oh shoot, a new toy. I
Yeah.
gotta see what's up with this. So.
Which is, I got to go to SEMA, and I know you've been to multiple events as well.
Hmm.
When you go to an event, like, what is the aspect that draws you to an event? Like, is it fun being around everybody? Is it fun seeing all the products? Like, what makes detailing events in the industry a fun experience?
I say the great experience about the fact that we have these events is not only learning about what's new in the industry,
Hmm.
because I feel like detailing is not talked about enough.
Mm.
I feel like it needs to be bigger, even though you have hundreds of detailers coming out every day. The
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
core of detailing, what it is, what we do, what we're offering, I feel like that needs to be talked about more. And right now we
Mm.
have what, two events? We have SEMA, and then what's his name down in Florida? I can't remember off the top of my head.
MTE. MTE.
MTE.
Yep.
So if we had even more, that'd be incredible. I also like the networking aspect of it. I
Mm.
don't like to look at other detailers as competition
Yeah. Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Um, I like to see other detailers for what they offer, what they do, and what I could learn from them. Some guys have been around longer than me, and
Yeah.
they have incredible skills, incredible knowledge, and getting the opportunity to meet these guys who often
Hmm.
have booths and events or whatever set up that you can sit there and you can talk to them and learn from them. That's
Yeah.
always like an amazing experience. And a lot of the guys, a lot of the detailers that you meet, they really are like cool people. They're
Yeah.
chill. They're willing to sit there and talk to you, explain different things. They even sit there and give you some background and history on themselves.
Mm.
So all of that helps, especially like when you're learning and you're coming up. Being able to learn from somebody else's past, somebody else's history, mistakes,
Yeah.
progresses and wins, that can help you in your own come up. Just because now you know what happened to that guy, you can
Hmm.
avoid it for yourself. So these events, these opportunities, they're great ways for new, old, everybody to be able to just get in and collaborate really, really well. And that's what I appreciate. I appreciate the collaboration and the network.
When you talk about meeting and networking, is there anybody that you've had the opportunity to meet now in your experience that you're like, I never thought I was going to meet this person, or I used to watch them on YouTube and now I've actually met them and seen them? Is there anybody that you're like, wow, detailing kind of took me somewhere?
Off top, I can't say that I had a superstar type moment.
Hmm.
It was a culmination from meeting the guys at the rag company
Mm,
to the Dr. Beasley's team. Um, Shoot, I'm trying to think off the top. I think it's IGL Coatings
yeah.
and them that group. That was all. That was a huge experience for me. Um, let's see. Oh, MTE.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I got to meet the team for Manzerna, and
Mm,
Manzerna was my original fanboy from the time that I started when I was young. Back
yeah.
before Manzerna was a 400, and they used to call it FG.
Yeah.
I've been around Manzerna that long, and I got to meet that team. That would probably be like my little fanboy moment because we talked about everything, and even the
Yeah.
fact that they have like they have a whole what is it, an office right
Mm.
down the street from where I'm from. I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey, and they have an
Oh, okay.
office in Patterson, New Jersey. And I got to talk to them about that. Going to their office, meeting their team there, getting to experience some products that hadn't been released to the public yet, things like
Mm.
that. So that was awesome for me. I'd say that would probably be my superstar moment, meeting the Missouri team.
I mean, that's one of those moments that you remember because you get to actually have those conversations with people
Hmm.
who, when you start detailing, they're just people in a company that you'll never meet and you'll never be around. And then you
Hmm.
realize once everybody gets together, it's a real culture. There's a real industry to it. So
Hmm.
that's incredible. Now I get to ask you the fun question that everybody either loves or hate, but it's fun. It's just for fun.
Okay.
It is a Mount Rushmore question. It doesn't matter if you've worked with them, if you want to work with them, people in the industry. You have a crazy car, super expensive, $40 million car. It's got to be done. You get to pick any four people in the world, whether you've worked with them or not. Who are you picking? Who is your Mount Rushmore of detailers to help you finish that car and get it deliverable to the level it needs to be?
Four guys. Four
It can be
guys.
girls too. It can be girls too. We don't
Uh,
like, yeah, you know.
no, I got you. I got you. Let's see. I believe her name is Macamere. I can't remember off top, but she's out on the island. She's in the Caribbean, and she
Okay.
does a lot of detailing. I actually met her at MTE, but she
Mm,
does like a lot of like extreme detailing. Like she'll taking the seats out and
mm.
all of that type of stuff. Complete restorations, everything. That woman is amazing. So I
She's one of
follow
the
her.
chapter reps for the IDA, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a big deal. But yeah, I met her at MTE. I
Hmm.
followed her page, and I've learned quite a bit from her. So she is definitely a fave right now. Up and coming, I'd say my boy Kamal at Recharge Auto Spa. He
Okay.
just opened up a shop out in Jersey. He's up and coming detailer. He's great. He's been around with us for probably about 3-4 years before him and I branched. I came down to Texas. He's still
Beautiful.
up in Jersey, but yeah, his work is impeccable. And on top of that, like he's one of those guys that just doesn't quit. Like everything is
Mm,
is serious for him. So he's
yeah.
gonna stay there. He's gonna stick with it until he gets it out, or he finds the best solution to be able to get it to the customer. So
Gotcha.
he's huge for me as well. And then lastly, probably my guy Ron at Amazing Auto Clean,
Okay.
also up in Jersey. Another great guy, always on top of it. I'd say he is more of my personality person. He
Mm,
fits in where I don't fit in. Sometimes I can be a bit rough around the edges. But that guy, he's the smiles, he's the chatter, he's the talk, he's the everything. But on
hmm.
top of that, to back it up, he can also put the work down.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. And lastly, I got to go with you, Ken, just because it was a lot of learning being around you. And then I've never really had the opportunity to have somebody to have like real give back with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like too much in my life, like everybody's like, oh yeah, they're just too agreeable and everything. But in the best way, I feel like you and I really bounced off of each other in a way that learned. Like there was so much
Hmm.
knowledge that I was able to grasp. I hate when I'm in an experience where I'm not getting anything and I feel like I
Yeah.
have to constantly fight against this person. But for us, it was like, okay, this is how Ken is doing this. This is how Ken has been doing this. And then this is how Ken is leading out. And it's like, oh, okay, you know what? This looks really good. I like how he's doing this. It's in a timely manner. And then on top of that, it's also working in a way where he's bringing about community. He's bringing the
Yeah.
team together. Because, like, who was that? What, Christmas or whatever, a couple years ago, where we just had to get, 70 cars out? And we just
Mm,
got the guys together and we were just rolling.
yeah.
Things like that. The leadership and the camaraderie, all of that type of stuff is just without people, you might not recognize people are watching, but I was watching, and you're
Yeah.
seeing how people do in those leadership moments, and it's monumental for me. So having somebody who can lead out like that, be educational for me, and
Mhm.
know what the hell they're doing, all three of those, yeah, that's massive for me. So
You
that's
know,
gonna be my.
I
Go ahead.
appreciate when I think about the things that we've done and work we've done together, the most rewarding experience I had working with you was when we were in New York, actually, and you took the lead and I did the secondary work. Like I laid on the ground and I was doing the wheel arches and the wheels, just watching you go to town and saying,
Okay.
"Hey, I got this." And
Then
you took care of everything and I would just like I was being the assistant for the day and I loved it. Like it was a great experience.
at the end of the day, you was helping us both, man. I'm 6'6". Getting down there is not fun. It was monumental for the both of us. So those days like that, even with the fact that you can sit and you can be humble to be able to sit back and take a step back, these are all monumental for somebody else who's coming up and who's watching and learning and trying to get better. So that is big for me. There's not been a lot of opportunities in my journey where I've had
Yeah.
like a legit teacher,
Yeah.
something like that, somebody that I could sit and watch, whether they were verbally talking to me or not.
Hmm.
It's like the fact that I could see this guy and I could learn something from him. So,
And I think because of that experience, it shows me that when you get to, because you've done some teaching, you've done some training, but when you get to the point in your own career now with your own business, when you start providing trainings, I think
hmm,
you'll be able to draw on that experience and say, like, I can lead this, I can do
absolutely.
it. Doesn't matter who's in the classroom, it doesn't matter who's there. I can do what needs to be done. So by you being able to take charge and do what needs to be done, I think your skill set is going to only blossom. So it's amazing to see, and I can't wait to see when you start doing teachings for yourself for Q.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are coming soon, coming very, very soon. I'm actually working with somebody right now who's helping me like set up the course.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the process of building the courses, putting together like the reward package. So like once
Yeah.
everybody can come to class,
Yep.
we're gonna be hopping between. We haven't really decided, how many days and whatnot, but I want my students to be able to come, learn, and then also walk away with something physical on top of the knowledge that they get. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we are in the process. 2026, we got some big things in the works, so looking forward
Which
to it.
that leads to the end. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you have big dreams. I know you have big goals, but I also know you can be realistic as well. So, in 5 years, what is your ideal situation to be in?
In 5 years, honestly, I am looking towards being somebody who could be, that third party call,
Mm-hmm.
having a team that at any time, if your dealership or customer or whatever lot needs
Yeah.
somebody and they need them now,
Mm-hmm.
they can call QDetails, and I'll have a team ready that can go and take care of this, or can sit there at their site and stay and take care of whatever vehicles they need. Having the guys who are knowledgeable as well as
Mm-hmm.
experienced on top of that, so that whatever comes up, there's no, oh man, we don't know how to handle this. There's no, oh, what do we do with this situation? Is boom, they can just take care of it. So having a team of more than just wash guys necessarily, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
detailers, that can take care of stuff. So that is the growth process. I'm looking towards how do I get there? How do I find the right personnel who's willing to hop on and
Mm-hmm.
experience with somebody else? So slow. It's a slow growth, but 5 years. 5 years is some time as long as you're making the moves towards your goal. So yeah, that is my future endeavor.
I think that is a beautiful goal when you can get that expansion down. As we know, being in the environments that we've been in, third
Hmm.
party support is it's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Obviously we want to make money in business and we want to do things, to a certain level, but third party work is no joke. And those are
Hmm.
emergency hours and you're putting in, a lot of time and effort. So to have that kind of reach, I think would be incredible to see.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have any imparting wisdom you want to share with anybody before I let you go and go enjoy the rest of your day?
Imparting wisdom. I say, we spoke on it earlier. Safety,
Mm-hmm.
people. Read your safety data sheets, read the product labels, know what you're doing before you hop on that car. The last thing you want to do is damage something and it ends up costing you, costing your insurance, whatever
Mhm.
it is. But safety, it is monumental. It's not something to be skipped. And it's not just about the customer and their vehicle, it's about your own health too.
Yeah.
Breathing in these products getting into your eyes. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've bleached my own skin. It's no fun. It's no fun. So, safety, safety, safety. Monumental.
Quincy, I appreciate it. You look great. You look happy and you look relieved. You don't look
Oh,
stressed.
yeah.
Like you look like you're doing great, and that is amazing to see. And I'm
I
really
appreciate it.
rooting for you. I have been watching you. Anytime I see what you're doing, I try to through social either share a post or whatever. But if you
Really
ever
appreciate that.
have something and you really want to broadcast it out there, don't hesitate to reach out.
Mhm.
And if you ever need anything, I'm always here for you. I appreciate everything. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And if you
Absolutely.
are in Houston, book with Q. You have
Yes,
a
sir.
website?
QDetails.com. Nice and easy for you guys. Houston, Texas. All surrounding areas. We got you.
All right. Q, thank you
Thank
so much. I really appreciate it. You go enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ken.
No
Take care,
problem,
sir.
sir.